Hey everyone, welcome back to Talk After the Tea, the space where I share therapist to therapist strategies to help you work smarter, not harder. This is a segment that I have developed to create after my Tea with the OT episodes, and it is developed directly for therapists. And today we are diving into something that is incredibly important, but often squeezed out of packed schedules. It is interdisciplinary collaboration. So let's dive into different strategies that we can most effectively apply to add more of this collaboration into our daily, weekly, or monthly schedules. So what is it and why does it matter? Interdisciplinary collaboration means working with other providers on your client's team, whether they're in healthcare, education, mental health, to provide a more coordinated and effective care. And let's be real, with full caseloads and limited time, we don't always have time to prioritize that collaboration piece. But, collaboration doesn't have to be overwhelming if we can approach it in a way that fits best for our practice specifically. It can seriously improve your outcomes with your clients and your client's experience overall. So this is a topic that we covered in the Grow Beyond Therapy Collective a few weeks back. We talked about each of the strategies individually, and we got a little bit more in-depth discussion. So if you're curious at all about other things that we talk about in the Grow Beyond Therapy Collective, please reach out to me. I'd love to give you some more information. But for now, I'm going to just kind of give you a brief overview of what we discussed during that meeting. So as far as adding collaboration into your schedule, first of all, you want to start with your schedule. Block off time, literally, to create a reoccurring space for it. Even if it's just 30 minutes every other week, if it's not on your calendar, it's not going to happen. And as much as I always have an intention of, I'm going to make that call, if it doesn't get blocked off, it doesn't happen for me. So the next strategy or advice that I'm going to offer as far as interdisciplinary collaboration goes is figure out who's on the team. So who's actually on your client's team? Ask your client or their caregiver if they're open to their providers connecting. And then you can get a signed release of information, obviously. So this can be on their healthcare team, someone, even if it's their instructor at the Y, their swim instructor at the Y, or someone who is also out there advocating for them and teaching them maybe the same skills that you might be working on in therapy. It's important to get an idea of who else is on their team and how you could potentially collaborate with them to create a bigger impact on their goals. Next up, just pick one person to connect with. Don't try to contact everyone all at once, because one, that's going to be way overwhelming, and choose one provider who overlaps with your goals and who your client talks about a lot. So it's someone that may be in their life just as frequently or more frequently as you might be. This could be a speech therapist, a counselor, a teacher, just finding that one person who can help you make that big impact with the amount of effort and time that you have in your schedule. So then once you figure out who that person is, reach out with intention. Send the release form and a short intro about who you are and why you're reaching out. That first message should really include, like I said, who you are and what your practice is, who you're working with, and why you are reaching out. So for me, I often try to have a specific goal in mind with the conversation, beyond just saying, hey, I am so-and-so's occupational therapist. We are working on emotional regulation. We've been using this visual schedule, and I'm wondering if they are using any sort of schedule or visual like this at school. So that kind of opens up the line of communication, but it also gives a really direct purpose for reaching out. Then you can offer specific times if you'd like to set up an in-person, or in-person is hard, but at least a phone call. So I would recommend offering at least 3 different times available in your schedule coming up of times when they could touch base with you over the phone, even if it's just for 15 minutes. Giving them a scheduling link or just asking them when they're free is creating extra effort for them. And we want to make this process as easy for the person we are reaching out to as possible in order to make the create a path of least resistance, essentially. So if we can give them at least 3 times coming up in our schedule, that's an easy start for them to then look at their schedule and say, yep, I've got one of those available. And then be prepared once you have that meeting scheduled. Be prepared for that meeting, having a specific set of a few key questions, asking yourself before the meeting, what do I want to know? What do I want them to know about my practice or what I'm doing with my client? And then together you can use your time efficiently. Once that meeting has taken place, I recommend sending a follow-up email or a thank you note to that person, just to let them know that you appreciate the time they took out of their busy schedule to prioritize your client and make sure that the care that we are providing is making the biggest impact it can across the board and across the team. Include any resources or documentation that you promised to share from the original meeting. And then finally, let your client know what was discussed and how you maximized that collaboration. So at your next session, tell your client that you connected with the other provider, share how the conversation went and how it will support their goals and the work that you are doing together. Collaboration doesn't need to be perfect. It absolutely doesn't need to go this route with all 3 things or all of those steps. Excuse me, I might sneeze. Oh, excuse me. Collaboration doesn't need to be perfect. It doesn't need to take up a bunch of your time, but being intentional with it and making sure that it's on your schedule, even one connection at a time, will build that trust. It will improve your care and then therefore improve the outcomes that your clients are seeing. So and far and beyond all of that, it shows our clients that we are willing to go beyond just what's happening in our treatment room, and we are willing to make sure that the care that they're receiving goes across environments and that we care about what's happening with them in any aspect of their life. So, take a moment today, even if your goal is just to find a 15-minute block next week where you can do one of these steps, whether that be figure out who's on your client's team or reach out to one person you know who's already there. Take a moment, find that 15-minute block and put it on your schedule now, because that is going to be the first step to becoming an even better therapist than you already are and opening up the doors to that interdisciplinary collaboration. If you found this helpful, please share it with other therapists, and I would love to hear in your comments below how you incorporate interdisciplinary collaboration into your practice, what tips or tricks you've found helpful for keeping that line of communication open. I would love to hear it. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week, and I will see you next time on Talk After the Tea.